Hello? That's one. So these are each ear. So if I turn that down, you hear?
Yeah.
So that's that ear. This is that ear.
Right.
Okay. I don't. How's that? You want me to hit the talk? Okay. So we're good? All righty. Sounds good. Go ahead and speak into yours, Ryan.
Can you hear me?
I can't hear you.
I can't hear you either through my headset.
All right. Is that door locked? Paul got locked out. Can you hear me?
No, I can't hear you.
Lock me out, Rodney.
You locked your own self out, man.
Door was open when I walked.
Yeah, I can go ahead and speak, Ryan. Can you hear me?
I'm gonna be louder
Can
than
you
the
hear
cat.
me?
He's gonna treat me that way.
Yeah, it sounds like I'm hearing him in the background, though.
Yeah.
There's no FCC violations. I can swear all night.
Can you hear me, Ryan?
No.
What?
Now I can.
You can hear me now?
I can hear you now.
Still not FCC.
Okay. You can hear me? Yeah?
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right.
Okay, yeah. We're good. Thanks, guys.
There was a bad one this year, but I can't remember which team it was.
All righty, sounds good. Are we going to do the national anthem before we come on, or are we going to wait? middle of the football field, catches it for a touchdown.
Would you look at that?
Evergreen.
Would you look at this?
Cool with the big three. Very good. Takes it all the way now. Nice. All right, hey, we want to welcome you guys to McKenzie Stadium here on a Thursday night tonight this week. Big game, Mountain View against the Evergreen Plainsmen. Old-time rivalry, still a rivalry to the people who grew up around here. Kids having a tough time dealing with it, but we're glad you guys stuck in here with us on a Thursday afternoon. I'm Rod Lawrence. I got my buddy Ryan Vassbinder. This is EPS Sports, and we are on our way. Ball picked up right there at the 5. Trying to find some extra running room, looking for that edge. He's going to make it to the 20 and down to about the 24 before he gets run out of bounds. Just a little bit about the history of this game here. I kind of made reference at the beginning there before that play about the rivalry, the history of the rivalry between these two schools. It's kind of fallen off as the years have come between the schools going back and forth between 4A and 3A and Union opening, but this is and was the huge rival in Vancouver for such a long time, wasn't it, Ryan?
Yeah, it really was. Even when I was back in high school, back in the early 2000s, this was the rivalry to go to and the games to watch.
Yeah, it most definitely was. Not so big this time. Mountain View definitely having a better season than Evergreen, but we'll see what this plans out to be tonight. Evergreen has taken the ball there on their 25-yard line. Quarterback tonight for the Evergreen Plainsmen is Ryan Blaze. Their premier running back is Eli Valaleatua, who has done real well for the team so far as for the season. He's actually rushed for over 700 yards, 754 yards, and 19 touchdowns. So the young man's done pretty well for himself this year. Unfortunately, Evergreen has had some issues putting some wins on the board and just staying consistent. Talk a little bit about the Mountain View part of the ball after this play here. Going to give it to Valaleatua once again. He is going to get about 2 yards out of that play. We're going to bring up a third down and long situation. Ryan, talk a little bit about the Thunder.
You know, the Thunder's coming into this game rolling hot. They're rolling in hot. They're outscoring their opponents on the average of 56-5 in the last 5 games. They're definitely contenders to come out and win the league. They just got to come out tonight and they got to play their football.
Yeah. Well, I had asked the coach if hope his boys don't look past this game, and he said they had a rough practice, a short practice, so we'll just kind of have to see here. I'm going to hand this ball off one more time on a sweep around the edge. He is not going to get anywhere. Looks like he's going to actually lose a yard, so he'll bring up 4th down and 9. So, as always, we've done a couple of games now here for Mountain View, and the conversation has always been how tough and stiff that their defense has been and not giving up a whole lot of yards. I mean, just last week against Prairie, they only gave Prairie 54 yards to their 710. So the defense is known to be stingy.
Yeah, they really are. And last week during that game, I was able to watch that game, and it was impressive.
Yeah, it sure was. Well, it looks like he muffed the punt, so he's going to go ahead and take that ball himself, and is only going to get out to about the 29-yard line. So kind of get that one off the turf, and before he was able to get up there and get that kicked off, he had people in his face. He did the best he could do, got about 4 yards out of that. Mountain View will take the ball over. But we do have a flag on the play, so we'll see whose favor that falls into this time. Just a little bit about, we talked about Mountain View's defense, and now their offense just as electrifying or impressive. They put up to 710 yards last week. Jack Mertens is kind of the guy to talk about for their team. 818 yards, 19 touchdowns already for that young man halfway here through the season. So he is definitely having a very good season for his senior year.
Yeah, you're certainly right with that, and that's that's Mountain View's key to their offense so far this year.
Yeah, it sure is.
Just letting Mertens run, and as soon as he's able to find a little bit of space, he's able to gain some big yards.
He sure is. He sure is. Garrett Moen sat there as the quarterback. Mertens, as we spoke, number 7 out there on the field, and that is Earnhardt out there in the wing. Mertens' first pass has a man wide open, and he's going to get it for the touchdown. First play of this game for the Thunder, first series, I should say, and they have already got 6 points on the game with Micaiah Anderson, number 14, just kind of releases up the field. Nobody there even around him for the big touchdown there. 6 points, and we've only got 9:37 left to play. Less than 2 minutes played, and we've got 6 points on the board already.
Yeah, there had been some sort of confusion on the Evergreen side. Somebody had to have missed an assignment somewhere.
Yeah, sure had to,
because there was no one around him for miles.
Got the kicker in here, and it looks like we've got a new kicker tonight, number 91, Dominic Ottermatt. Or number 90, I'm sorry. And that is going to be Judd Millette. Adams got one of his young guys out there. Millette, only a sophomore, out there getting the job done. And now Mountain View on top. 7-0 already. There's the young man, young sophomore, getting some Friday night playing time. Thursday night. Friday night feel. Thursday night. The game is actually on, right? So, we kind of talked about that. We were kind of hoping that we knew that, Mountain View definitely having a much better season this year seemed to be the team to be dialed in to what they need to do, and they're definitely doing what they want to do.
Yeah, they certainly are, but, Evergreen has some offensive weapons that can really come out and play.
They do. They do.
Blaze has the ability to throw the ball a mile.
Yeah.
So if he comes out and has a good night, he becomes an attacking weapon. Along with Vale Atua, if he's able to find some open field, he's able to gain some big yards.
Yeah, he sure is. We're set up here. The two deep men are Griffin and Vale Atua. Griffin standing on about the heels on the end zone down there. And he's going to get backed up into the end zone, so obviously they're not going to let him run this one out. And Evergreen is going to have 1st and 10 from their 20. Well, we'll see what they got dialed up this time. The first time, just Vale Atua is definitely their horse, and then they're going to give him the ball, and obviously they're going to try to establish some kind of a running game here because that's what they're kind of good of. I know Coach Hyde's about a balanced offense, so he's going to want to run the ball so he can throw the ball. They come out in a spread formation pistol with Vale Atua lined up directly behind Blaze here, so it's kind of spread out the defense. They're going to send Griffin in motion. Going to give it to Griffin on the fly. Kind of hesitates there for a little bit. Not a whole lot going on. Mountain View just refusing to let him find the edge. We do have a flag on the play down there, so we'll see what that is. Looks like it's probably a holding call based on where the linesman was standing when he threw that flag. And there's we just got to see how fast Mountain View's defense is. Griffin's not a slow kid, and he was not able to find the edge at all out there.
No, not at all. And, that's something that we've been impressed by Mountain View in the weeks prior leading up to this is the speed of their defense and their ability to close down space.
Yeah, most definitely. So actually that's going to be a penalty on Mountain View. And here's the replay here for it right here. And there wasn't a whole lot of places he could go to. All right. Oh, wow, this is a big penalty out there. The 15 yards. Merton's going to put Evergreen in some decent field position to start out down to the 35 now, 1st and 10 from that 35. Didn't actually see where the penalty or the infraction happened, but it's out there in the scrum, I would imagine, out there on that far side of the field. But it got Evergreen a 15-yard penalty to the good. So 1st and 10 from the 35. Blaze now hands it to Valle Atua right up the middle. This time he's going to sidestep some tackles, and he is going to make it across the 40. He gets the ball snatched out of his hands, but the referees are going to say he was already down. So a good run there by the running back as he takes that right up the middle and gets it across the 40-yard line.
I think that was a little bit of a break for the Evergreen Plainsmen.
I think you're right. This is going to bring up 2nd down and 4. You've got trip receivers at the top of the screen over there. Another handoff right up the middle. This way, there is nowhere for him to go, and he's going to be stopped right there in the backfield. Ty Heidman is right there to make the stop. He's just standing in there waiting, right? Nice picture of him, number 59, just standing in the backfield waiting for him to get the ball. Actually lost a yard on that, so we're going to bring up 3rd down and 5 now. Got Griggs lined up down here on the numbers. Blaze drops back. Valle Atua is out there on a flare route. And once again, Mountain View is going to be all over him. Earnhardt there to make the stop. And they're going to lose another yard, so it'll bring up 4th down and 6. So they'll try again, and second series, 4th down that they had to punt last when the punt was muffed and missed it. So Griffin, the punter. Earnhardt standing about the 25-yard line. This one's going to go straight up in the air. But it's going to take a pretty decent bounce, and it's going to get down right there on the Mountain View 29-yard line. I'm sorry, 34-yard line. Take that back. So not a whole lot to be said so far about one play, one series, 6 points. We'll kind of see how this one's going to start. Adam likes to start the beginning of the game. It kind of looks like it's kind of his first 12 plays, 10 plays, if you will. There's a lot of throwing, and looks like he's set up to do that as well when he's got the trip receivers down here at the bottom. Moen now is going to get the ball out there into the flat. Great run right there through the middle of the field. He's going to get across the 50 and spin his way down to about the 45-yard line. So first time the ball's thrown to him, and he is going to get a great yard, get good yards on the play there. Number 8, Michael Bolts, is the guy, and Michael Bolts has been a staple of this football team for a couple of years now, and he's just been a solid performer and solid player and just always makes good catches when he needs to. Mertens is going to get the ball. He does find the edge. He's going to get across the 40, down to 35. Down to about the 31-yard line before he stopped. Griffin there to make the stop.
Yeah, and Mountain View's been able to really just move the ball downfield. Seeing
sure
the replay here, Mertens just is able, he takes on contact, is able to just run right through.
He sure does. Got a designed rollout here. Moen's got a man open downfield. He's going to get him, and it's almost touchdown. Great defense there at the last minute by the defender from Evergreen. Tay Marks, the defender out there, and is able to put his hand in there and slap that ball down. Micaiah Anderson, intended receiver on that one. Bowen again out to the flats. Bolts is the receiver, just a little high, not able to bring that one in, so that'll bring up 2nd and 10. So now they've thrown the ball, three times, and run it once. 3rd and 10 here. We've got Anderson and Bolts out at the outside. They're going to give this one to Mertens, and he is just going to refuse to go down on initial contact, and he's going to get down to the 25-yard line before he is stopped. Bring up 4th down. About 4 yards to go. 4 down territory for the Thunder. 2 receivers at the top. Mertens, the running back. Earnhardt goes into motion. They're going to give this one to Earnhardt. Actually, they're going to keep it. Moen decides to take it himself right up the middle for the touchdown. Boy, he faked me out on that one. I thought he actually gave it to Earnhardt, and he great mesh on that handoff. Tricked everybody and went right up the middle of the field, untouched for the touchdown. Mountain View on top now. 2 scores, 13-0.
Yeah, he had me fooled as well. Yeah. I was looking for that ball on the other side of the field and noticed he was running right up the middle with it. And now you've got Evergreen. Defense has given up 2 scores in 2 possessions, and they need to come up with an answer.
Yeah,
quick.
there needs to be a stop here. Sophomore kicker handling the responsibilities tonight, and he is going to make that one. So Mountain View on top now, 14-0 over the Evergreen Plainsmen here. This is EPS Sports. Rod Lawrence, Ryan Vassbinder, and we'll be step away for a second. We'll be right back. All right, we'll welcome you guys back here to McKenzie Stadium. We've got 5:43 left to play in this first quarter. Mountain View already on top by 2 scores on 2 possessions. And right now, we're to the point now where this game could get ugly real quick if the Evergreen defense doesn't find something out there that's going to stop these guys.
Yeah, they need to find something, or they really need to get their offense going too. I mean, their last 2 possessions, they've ran the ball 6 times, and they've gotten 1 first down on a penalty.
Yeah.
So running the ball up the gut really isn't getting it done. They got to start digging a little bit deeper into their playbook.
Yeah, I think you're right here. Mountain View's defense is very, very, very stingy, and if you don't put a hat on a hat and handle your responsibilities, they're doing their job on that side of the ball, and they're going to make it real difficult for you to get any kind of yards. And you got to move people around. That offensive line for Evergreen, decent size offensive line. They've got to win that battle of push in the first 5 yards. Blaze has it. He's going to hand it off again to Vale Atua. This time he's going to find some room up the middle. Continues to run hard. Is going to get down across the 40 and go down about the 42-yard line. So first big run. Apparently they hurt us. At least the offensive line did right up the middle because there was room for Vale Atua to get in there and kind of do what he likes to do. Once he gets in space is where he's dangerous. So you don't like to let him get to level 2 because then that's when he can do some pretty fun things. You put your hands on him early, then he's kind of down. He's stopped.
Right, yeah, and he was able to pick up those 15 yards real quick.
Yeah, he sure was. Pistol formation. They're going to hand it off again right up the middle. This time, no-go Mountain View line all over that. Andrew Gulliford, linebacker, there to make the stop after about a yard gain, 2nd and 9. Blaze runs in with the new play.
Next year they play in Minnesota. I want to go to that game so I can go see Prince.
Got Isaiah Griggs playing the wide receiver down here on the numbers for Evergreen. Going to hand this one off. This time he is able to get around the edge. Going to get across the 45-yard line down to about the 46. Cam Smith, the carrier on that one. First time we called that young man's name tonight. Nice little fly sweep. Was able to get around that initial contact there in the backfield. So, once again, Mountain View getting up the field and creating havoc in the backfield. It just kind of disrupts the timing on how plays are working, and and it allows these guys to string things out because he had to bounce out a little wider before he was able to get around that edge.
Yeah, and with Mountain View's speed, that 3-4 yard pickup that Cam Smith was able to accomplish was it was a great little run.
Smith in motion. They're going to fake it to him now. Blaze has a receiver down the field, makes the connection right there at the 35-yard line. Nice little catch there by number 15. That's Tame Marks. Saw him earlier make a pretty good defensive stand there in the end zone to stop a touchdown on a pass play, and there he is on the offense doing a nice little catch to move the chains for Evergreen. Evergreen, for the first time this evening, has gotten into Mountain View territory. First down and 10 from the 34-yard line. This time, Vale Atua sets up there on the left side of Blaze. Going to hand it to him again. He's going to take this right up the middle, lower his shoulders, and get about a yard and a half out of that one. Like Evergreen brought in a new linebacker core here, and a big man. See number 85 plays offense tight end for him. Also out there, double responsibilities is Montel. Looks like he's out there paying the outside backer, or DN, if you will. Cam comes into the game for Evergreen, and Trent Heeman goes out. Give it to Vale Atua again, and right there, as soon as Montel comes into the game, he makes the difference. He's there to make the stop at the 30-yard line.
So now we've got a big third down for Evergreen. You're in Mountain View's territory for the first time tonight, and you've got a 3rd and 5. Third and 6.
Mm-hmm.
Do you give the ball to Vale Atua and hope he hits a hole, or do you open up the playbook a little bit?
3rd and long situation. Generally, you think pass, right? We'll see. We'll see what's going on here. Blaze has made one pass. Kind of read it. They're going to get kind of give the ball to their athlete out in an open field, and he is going to get down to the first down marker. He gets down across the 25 to move the chain. So, kind of a combination, right? The pass, but they get it to their guy. And they got it to him in open space where he is the most dangerous, and we got a little taste of that just right then. Here is the replay. Nice little flare. Great concentration to bring that one in and still make the guy miss. He's a dangerous man in open field. The problem is you got to get him into the open field so he can show his abilities. All right, this time we've got a trips at the far side of the field. Griffin out there on the numbers. This time Mountain View called for stepping into the neutral zone. Looks like that penalty is going to be on Montel, number 85, as he comes out of the game. Moving 5 yards, first down and 5. Evergreen will need to get to it looks like the 13-yard line to get a first down here.
And Evergreen's in the red zone for the first time tonight.
Yeah, they made it in there with the penalty. Trip receivers once again, Marks there in the slot. They're going to hand this one off to Vale to it. He takes the hit, but stays on his feet. Nice little strong run there as he gets down to about the 6-yard line. So first and goal from the 6 for the Evergreen Plainsmen. Nice series. They had a little help with some penalties, but they were able to string together a couple of good plays and some big runs there by the running back to get him down inside the 10-yard line for first and goal from the 6.
Yeah, and this is the type of series that Evergreen really needed to get back into this game.
Yeah, they sure did.
Their first two, there wasn't a whole lot going on offensively.
Blaze has it. Once again, they're going to give it to their running back, who has nowhere to go this time. Andrew Gulliford right there to make the stop. Looks like they will give him that he got back to the line of scrimmage, but no more than that. We're going to bring up second down and goal. Andrew Gulliford, another player from Mountain View who's also been a very big part of this team for the last couple of years. Adam has been able to use him on both sides of the ball, and wherever he stepped in, he's done good things. Last year we did see him on the offensive side of the ball running it a little more than we've seen him this year. So it's more like wherever coach needs me, put me in. And he does a good job wherever you put him. Great guy.
Yeah, and that's how you build strong teams, right? When you have kids that are willing to play any role that they need to.
Yeah.
That's what makes teams successful. No kid thinks that any role is beneath them, and you go out and you just really do whatever the team needs you to do.
Right.
And you see success.
There you go. And with that big tackle by Mr. Gulliford, that ended the first quarter. This is EPS Sports. Rod Lawrence, Ryan Vassbinder. We'll be right back. Hey, welcome back here. Started this quarter, nice little pitch out, little 3 option, but it didn't fool anybody on the Mountain View defensive side of the ball there. They came out in a different formation, split backs there, tried to fake it to Valeatua and pitch it out to Griffin, and that was a no-go. They lost big yards on that. First and goal now from the 11-yard line. Third and goal, from the 11-yard line. Cam Smith comes back into the game as the receiver. We've got Smith and Griggs out there on the far side of the field. Marks and Fight at the bottom. They're going to fight. Marks right there. Did not look up quick enough. The ball was right there on his hip. Just needed to turn around and grab that one. Almost picked off there in the end zone. But I think I do see a flag down there on the field, so we'll see what that call is. Officials coming over here to talk to Coach Adam Matheson for the Mountain View Thunders.
I didn't see the signal. Yeah, all which means his play counts, it's fourth down. Jeez.
So a foul there against the Evergreen Plainsmen.
26.
Looks like the personal foul variety. Going to back him up 15 yards. So Evergreen was in the red zone. Penalties and just great defense by the Thunder has pushed them now back outside the 25-yard line. So fourth down and goal from the 25.
Yeah, and what was a series that looked very promising for the Evergreen Plainsmen has turned into a situation where, you know, you've got fourth and goal,
Yeah.
but it's really fourth and long.
Yeah, you sure do.
You know, you're sitting at the 26-yard line, and looks like they're going to try a field goal.
Yeah, they sure are. This is going to be a big one. So let's see here.
No, actually, he's a good kicker. But it's a long way to go.
It's number 21 is their kicker. Oh, yeah. Del Angel. Got a snap and a kick. That is not going to be quite long enough. He had it on target, but just didn't have enough leg in that. So Mountain View now will take the ball over on the 26-yard line. First down and 10, going the other direction. You know, Evergreen, the offense shows a couple of things. They had some help from the officials a little bit on that one, but they weren't able to take advantage of it. They had gotten themselves, you know, all the way down to the 6-yard line with 4 downs to score, and they ended up going backwards, ultimately missing on a long field goal attempt and come away with nothing on their third possession in this game.
Yeah, and that's disheartening if you're an Evergreen Plainsman.
Yeah, it sure is. Definitely can be. Moen now going to take the ball himself. Wide open field. He's going to get down to the 30, breaks out to the 40, and just running in behind the blockers before he finally gets run out of bounds in Evergreen territory at about the 48. Tell you what, he just got in behind his blockers, stayed calm about it, and just kind of watched things happen in front of him, and just made it difficult on the defense to be able to wrap him up.
Yeah, and as you continue to watch this Mountain View team, you notice it doesn't matter who's carrying the ball, they do that very well.
Yeah, they do.
They stay behind the blockers, and they're very patient.
Formation again, they're going to give this one to Jack Mertens, and he is going to do what Jack Mertens does, and he's going to get a nice little 6-yard run out of this. He's going to get down to, looks like the 42-yard line. Second down and 4.
It's not even an average 9-yard to carry anymore.
Mertens lined up as the running back. Earnhardt is the wing on the far side of the field. Quarterback keeper once again. He's going to keep this one and get down across the 40, down to about the 39-yard line. Looks like he's going to be about a yard away from the first down. Bring up now 3rd and 1. This time we bring a fullback into the game. He's going to take it hard and strong right up the middle of the field there. Number 28, that's going to be Bobby Shepard. And he's going to get that ball down to the 31-yard line. That will move the chains. First down and 10 for the Mountain View Thunder. Moen back into the shotgun formation. Now he drops back. Going to get flushed out of the pocket. Sees a man across the middle of the field. That ball kind of sailed on him because he had the receiver open right there in the middle. Jordan Cook was coming right across the middle of the field. He just kind of found an opening in the defense there between the safeties and the linebackers. Moen unable to get that. It kind of sailed on him. He's trying to throw back across himself into the middle of the football field. That, under normal circumstances, is not a great move, but he had a guy wide open. Hard snap count pulls the Evergreen defensive line off, and they're going to get a free 5 out of this one.
Yeah, and that last play, Moen really showed his athleticism to really avoid the sack. He was close to losing yards. He was able to scramble out of that pocket, and while the ball sailed on him, he was able to avoid a big loss.
He sure was. Jack Mertens once again bends that back towards the middle of the field. Nobody touches him for a touchdown. 25-yard carry there by Jack Mertens. You know, he just kind of bent that through just found open space and just kept bending that back towards the middle of the field until he got to the end zone. Great little run. Great vision there by Mr. Mertens. Here's the replay. You know, you just kind of see the blocking that kind of happens out there in front of him that allows him to find space to run in. And that's one thing he's good at is he sees the space and he just kind of puts himself in it and just makes himself successful. Got the kick here for the extra point, and that is also going to be good. So 9:21 left to play in the first half here. Mountain View on top now, 21-0 over the Evergreen Plainsmen.
You know, and this is turning into the game that we thought it could be.
Yeah.
You know, there's some promise that Evergreen showed in their last offensive drive. They just have to capitalize on their opportunities.
Yeah, they sure do.
And you know, I mean, even the not this previous offensive drive that Mountain View had, but the one before that, the Evergreen defense showed some promise.
Yeah,
you know, they had Mountain View at 3rd and long in a couple times, and Mountain View was just able to go ahead and capitalize on it.
Yeah, Mountain View hasn't been put in too many 3rd and long situations. In many of the games that we've watched them in, they've kind of moved the ball and always been in kind of a 3rd and short, you know, 3rd and 4, 3rd and 5, 3rd and 6, which is ideal. You know, if you're an offensive coordinator, it just opens the playbook completely for any and everything you might want to do. So, you know, the Mountain View defense, the Evergreen defense is not, you know, stressing that offense out by any stretch of the imagination. There is no 3rd and long situations that they're really having to deal with. And we have got a kick. That one's going to get kicked out of bounds, so Evergreen's going to get some extra yards out of that and bring that ball up to the 35-yard line. 1st down and 10. Mountain View band playing loud and proud down there on the score there, 21-0. Crowd a little thin tonight. Thursday night game generally doesn't bring everybody out, but definitely some fans out here to support these two ball clubs. Mountain View Evergreen 1st down and 10 from the 35-yard line. They come out in pistol formation. Griffin, the wideout down here at the bottom. Blaze drops back for the pass. Lets that one go. Griffin is the intended receiver, and he's able to bring that one down. Great catch there, right there on the 29-yard line. And that's kind of what we're talking about. Griffin is an athlete, you know, and he does some real good things for Evergreen. You know, consistency has always been the issue for these guys. You know, great play, great catch. And now let's see what they're going to do with the rest of the time. There it is. Right there, was able to get those feet down. Blaze drops back here for another pass. This time we've got a receiver in the corner. He's able to able to bring that one in. Intended receiver on that is Isaiah Griggs. That ball was right there. Great defense, too, also by Earnhardt.
And that's two great throws we've seen in a row from Ryan Blaze.
Yeah, it sure is. Actually, that was not Earnhardt. That was Michael Bowles, the defender out there. And he was right there, stride for stride with Griggs. Going to bring up second down and 10 yards. Vale Atua, pistol formation. Blaze drops back again, has a man open in the middle, makes the big catch right there inside the 5-yard line. He comes down hard on that knee, but he is able to get up. That was a great catch. He came down kind of awkward on that. Here it is right here, and that's Jalen Fight.
Yeah, we've got another great throw by Ryan Blaze, and he puts it in a spot, and yeah, you can see him comes down awkward on that knee, and we just looks like they're taking him out, but we hope that he really comes back into the game later on.
Yeah, sure does. He's able to run off on his own. We'll see if they can kind of give him some rest and see if he can't get him back out there. But that was a great catch. So 3 pass plays here in a row by Blaze, and they are down inside the 5-yard line. Hands this one off to Vale Atua. This time he finds the edge, and he is going to blast his way into the end zone this time on a nice little 4-yard run. So good job, good series there for the Evergreen Plainsmen. Started off with that great catch by Griffin and just kept the momentum going.
Yeah, we saw Evergreen really kind of open up their playbook a little bit, and you know, the Mountain View defense had to really guess on that whole series.
They sure did.
You know, they've only thrown the ball, 2 other times prior to the series, and then they go out and they throw it 3 straight. And it's really opened the field up for the Evergreen offense.
And the difference in that touchdown and some of the other runs we've seen earlier tonight is there was some pretty good line blocking down the field that allowed him to get into the end zone. Del Angel here to kicking responsibilities. This time he is going to get that one through. And 8:27 left to play in the first half. Mountain View gives up a touchdown here. And Evergreen on the board, 21-7 here at McKenzie Stadium here on a Thursday afternoon. Rod Lawrence, Ryan Vassbinder here tonight. Glad you guys could join us here on Thursday Night Football here at McKenzie Stadium. Big rivalry, more of a rivalry for the city of Vancouver and Clark County than I think the kids actually feel. But this is a big game. It always is a big game in Clark County when these two teams come to meet each other. So we'll just kind of play it out. Evergreen within 2 touchdowns now. Still plenty of game left to play. As long as they can kind of keep up what we just saw, then they might make this a little interesting.
Yeah, they might, and when we were talking to the coaches before the game, they made mention that the kids don't understand the rivalry as it once was. Mm-hmm. But if you can get a game like this where it becomes close to where you've got the underdog in Evergreen against Mountain View, who's a very good football club, and you get a very good game out of it, it kind of reignites those rivalries for the years to come.
Because now both these schools are now 3A schools. At one time, when there was a huge rivalry, they were both 4A schools. And then the rivalry before that, they were both 3A schools. So that now they're back to the 3A division. And the rivalry has got kind of watered down because the games, when they were in separate divisions there for a couple of years, didn't have a whole lot of, didn't have a whole lot of importance as far as what you were going to do, at the next level, or if you were going to get in and out of the playoffs. Well, Evergreen, not quite sure why he picked that up. If he'd just let it go out of bounds, they'd have got it on the 35, but he picked it up and ran it out of bounds. So now Mountain View is going to get the ball on the 25. First down and 10 from that 25-yard line. All right, so Mountain View takes the ball over on their 25. Moen takes the snap, fakes the pitch and gets right in the field. He's going to get to the 35. Finds the edge of the field, makes it down to the 50. He's going to keep going before he finally gets run out of bounds by Griffin at the 25-yard line. Tell you what, like we said, finding space and just running into the space that you see.
Yeah, and Moan's decision-making tonight has been fantastic. You see him here. He's got the option available, and he decides to keep it and finds a space right between two linebackers, and, it turned into a big gain for him.
Sure did. I mean, and there's some good blocking up front to kind of get to help him out. Jack Mertens is going to take this ball. He steps into the wide open space, and once again, Mountain View has put themselves 3 touchdowns ahead. I mean, you can't talk enough about their ability to find open space on the field and run directly to the daylight. You know what I'm saying? Jack Mertens on a 20-yard run for another Mountain View touchdown. Now Mountain View now 27-7. Possibly 28 here. We'll see what the kicking game holds for us. Mollett handling the responsibilities tonight. And the kick is good, so that's 28 points now. Evergreen got themselves within 2 scores and weren't able to hold the Mountain View Thunder off at all. And here's the replay. The blocking out front is just unbelievable. Untouched into the end zone.
Yeah, and it's almost one of those situations where, Mountain View just got scored on.
Yeah.
And they said, we're not going to let you back into this one, and this is what we can do.
They sure did. Say, we gave you one, we want it back.
Yep, exactly.
Well, we'll see how Evergreen can snap back on this one, see if they can come back and take another one from them, because, I mean, that's what they're going to have to do. They're taking it from Mountain View right now. Mountain View's not giving them anything. So see if they can come out here and take another 6 points from these guys.
No, and Ryan Blaze is going to have another great series. He's going to have a great rest of the night.
Yeah.
Really finding his receivers and putting the ball in the right spot.
Mm-hmm.
That's going to open up the running game for Vadali Atua to really gain some big yards. And we'll just have to see, what they come out with.
Yeah, most definitely. This time Griffin's going to be able to field this one at the 4-yard line. He is not going to have hardly anywhere to go. He's not going to make it to the 20. He's going to get out to the 17-yard line. So first down and 10. See if Jalen Fight. Okay, well, I see that he is back on the field, so he was able to walk that awkward fall off, and he's going to be back out here trying to make some plays for the Plainsmen. We got 2 slot receivers down here at the bottom. Going to fake it, has a man on a slant route, makes the catch right there, and is going to get down to about the 35-yard line. Great job there by Griggs on the slant route. Those type of passes, those 1, 2, 3, 3-step drop timing passes, Blaze can do. Because he's going to put that ball on a rope, and put it right there for the receiver, and that's a great pass play right there. What he just did, we saw some real good precision throwing on that one. And then there's what we're talking about, the inconsistency of the play, Now instead of 1st and 10, you're dealing with 1st and 15.
Yeah, that's tough. You come out of the gate with a great throwing play. You're able to get in first down, and then you give now you're sitting first and 15
Yeah.
on a mental mistake from your offensive line.
David Grant gets called there for the move. They're going to hand this off to Valle too. This time they're going to reverse to Griffin. Griffin now is finding some space. Great block downfield by the quarterback, Blaze. Just flattened the corner out there trying to step up in there. Poor Alec Can got taken over by the big quarterback, Blaze, blocking downfield. Nice big run there by the Evergreen Plainsmen. We do have a penalty flag, though. Did I see the official? No, it's still there on the field. Here's the reverse. Nice receive there by Griffin. Kind of see that big block by Blaze is just kind of right out of the camera lane there. But a penalty on Evergreen, and it's going to push them back.
So it's funny. All of that, and now it's the first and 10 from the original spot.
So with that penalty, it's going to push him back to the original yard marker, and on a holding play, and first down and 10. So Groundhog's Day, it looks like here, right?
Yeah, let's just start over.
All right, so here we go. First down and 10. Evergreen on the 30, looks like the 37-yard line. Valle Atua takes that ball right up the middle. Looks like he's going to fall across the 40. They'll give him the ball at the 42-yard gain on that play. Second and 8.
And for the past couple series, we've seen Evergreen really expand their playbook,
yeah,
right, and it's really opened up the field, and it's kept Mountain View guessing a little bit, and so just like that reverse that ultimately came back, they were able to really fool the Mountain View defense.
Yeah, Blaze drops back again, looking for somebody, not able to find anybody, and he is going to take the sack. Looks like he will get back to the 38-yard line. Well, 39-yard line, so he'll lose essentially a yard out of this play. Third down and 9. We had 3 receivers en route down there, and they were covered pretty well. We had Marks and Fight down here at the bottom of the screen, both running fly routes. And actually, Marks running the skinny post, trying to break into the middle. Blaze unable to get the ball to him before the pocket collapsed. Delay handoff to Valle Atua. And as always, the Thunder defense right there to make the stop. He's going to get back to the 40-yard line. So a whole lot of action to end up getting 2 yards out of the deal. Fourth down, 8 yards. Punt team comes on the field for the Plainsmen.
Yeah, and we've talked about it earlier, but the Mountain View linebackers have done a great job really closing those holes.
They sure have.
They really closed on space, especially on that draw play to bring them fourth down. It gave Valle Atua nowhere to go.
Yeah. High snap. Griffin able to handle it, but he's going to kick that ball straight into the air and out of bounds. Not quite sure. It may have made it across midfield before it went out of bounds, but we'll see where the officials have that going out. And that's a pretty generous spot there that the officials giving them. Didn't look like the ball went that far, but they're going to get Mountain View's going to get the ball on their own 40-yard line, first down and 10. Ouch. Yeah, they kind of missed on that one. So we'll see what the stat book says Griffin had on that kick. Yeah, they gave him a little extra on that one. Moen's going to hand that ball off. This time he decides to keep it. Lets the ball go right up the middle of the field for the catch. Earnhardt standing in the middle of the field all by himself for the touchdown. Got to be careful there. Almost got penalized for some excessive celebrating as he kind of turned around and backed into the end zone. But one big play, and, everybody just keeps getting caught off caught out of position. Earnhardt in the middle of the field all by himself. You know, you got to ask yourself, where's the safety?
Right. And the problem was his safety was in between two receivers, but he wasn't 10 yards within either one of them.
Yeah. Somebody dropped the ball on their assignment because, Earnhardt came out of the wing position, which essentially is kind of where a tight end would release up the field, and, which is probably a linebacker's responsibility based on where he's lined up. And we've got another successful extra point there by the young sophomore. A linebacker, that was a linebacker's responsibility to pick him up off the line of scrimmage like that, and that just didn't happen. And and the safeties and the corners, kind of the ball's released in the air, and they look up and realize somebody's free.
Right.
Griffin tried to get over there in time, and the ball got there right before he did. Earnhardt was able to turn that around and run the field for the touchdown.
And then
60-yard touchdown pass.
Yeah, at that point, Griffin's only hope is that the ball's underthrown.
Yeah, exactly. So 35-7 now the score. 5:03 left to play in the first half.
And Mountain View's doing what Mountain View does.
Yeah, they are.
And they're playing Mountain View football, and we talked about it a little bit in the beginning of the game, but they've outscored their last 5 opponents on average 56-5, and we're right on track.
Yeah, we sure are. We sure are. Evergreen does need to make it a little more difficult for him, though. I mean, this is a little too easy. I would think. This is 2 touchdowns that we've seen in this first half. At least 2 of them, the receiver is all by himself. I mean, it's just pitch and catch. Griffin now standing down there. He's going to pick this ball up at about the 7. It's going to come out, make it to the 20. And takes a big pop, but does not go down. So we're going to kind of see how that works out. So you got a kind of a glimpse of how athletic that young man is. He just needs opportunity and some space. You need some space to run around out there. They are going to say his knee was down on the initial contact, and it'll be Evergreen's ball first down on the 26-yard line. All right, so the linebacker core for Evergreen, for Mountain View, we kind of talked about them. We've got Andrew Gulliford. Get the rest of the names here for you in a second. Pistol formation, trip receivers up top. Blaze is going to give this one to Valet Atua, and he is not going to have hardly anywhere to go on that one. It looks like they might give him a yard. 2nd and 9.
It looks like Gulliford's partner there in linebacker position is number 51, Kobe Anderson, 5'9" senior, 175 pounds. So, decent-sized kid, and he's able to go ahead and really, they're quick to close down space like we've said all night.
They sure are.
And that's the most impressive part of their game that we've seen.
Mm-hmm. Trip formation once again at the top. This time Blaze is going to hit somebody out of the flare, and there is no go there. I mean, at some point you kind of got to talk to your receivers out there, say, buddy, can I get a block? Tay Marks there on the flare route, and Griffin does not make his block, doesn't handle his responsibility out there, and Mountain View makes the tackle for a big loss, which the one block could have created the edge that he needed, and we could have been talking about, at least 10 yards on that. It's about everybody handling their responsibilities on every play, and definitely looked like that play might have been taken off. All right, slot receivers there on either side. Valet Atua on the side. Blaze drops back. Has a man streaking up the sidelines and just outthrows everybody on that play. Isaiah Griggs, the receiver, streaking up the sideline. Brings up 4th down and long. This time we bring out the kicking team again. This time we have a different punter. Kind of a knuckleball. He picks it up on the bounces, Earnhardt, and he's right up the field right now. Runs up, tries to run up the back of his own blocker there and gets knocked down.
That's another break for Evergreen.
Yeah, it sure is.
I don't know who we credit that tackle to.
Yeah, Kobe Anderson. Evergreen might need to give him a hit sticker for his helmet on that one, because I tell you what, if he'd have got around that, there was nothing but sidelines and end zone, on that side of the field.
I'm done recording a 35-7 game. I don't want to.
All right, 3 minutes left to go. We've got trips.
I'm just gonna. I got my 3 highlights. I'm good.
Montel lined up in the wing.
It's wide open already.
Moen goes for Earnhardt. Earnhardt brings that one down right there in front of the defender, Tay Marks. And we've got another penalty, a penalty flag, and Earnhardt getting a little cocky. We kind of saw some excessive celebrating on his last touchdown, and I think the officials let it slide. I think this time, just a little too much jaw jacking there, and they got him, which is, he's going to get some yards taken off this nice little catch that he had. And that is that they're Earnhardt getting a little chippy with his opponents down there, and he's going to get called for it this time. But nice catch by the young man. Way to climb that ladder and go up there and catch the ball at its highest point.
It was a great catch, and he was able to get some really good separation between him and his defender. I mean, 5 yards down the field, there was already separation there.
Yep. Coach Matheson talking to Earnhardt. He loves winning and enjoys celebrating as much as the next guy, but I know for a fact that he is about sportsmanship, and that was lacking a little bit, Act like you've been there before. Big play, big catch. 1st down and 10 from the 20-yard line. Trip receivers on the far side of the field. Michael Bowles standing out there on the numbers. Mullen on the shovel pass. This time, no place to go. Nice defensive stop there by Evergreen. Kenny Mizuno. No, I take that back. Kenny Munoz. Number 57 there on the catch, on the big tackle. 5'8", 235-pound D lineman, big guy. This time we get the pitch out to Mertens. Mertens finds some room out there on the edge before he runs out of bounds at about the 6-yard line. It is going to be plenty to move the chains. 1st down and goal from the 6.
I tell you what, Mountain View's really making this game look easy.
Yeah, they sure are.
They've been able to do anything that they have wanted so far in this first half. And the scoreboard shows it.
Mm-hmm.
Got it. Thank you.
And it looks like we're going to have a timeout on Evergreen, so we are going to step aside while they do this timeout. This is EPS Sports. Ryan Vassbinder, Rodney Lawrence. We'll be right back after the timeout. All right, we are back here. McKenzie Stadium, Mountain View Thunder going against the Evergreen Plainsmen. First down and goal. Mullins drops back. Looks for a receiver out there in the corner. And he catches that one. He's able to bring that one down before he gets out of bounds. And that's Jack Mertens on the reception on that one. And we've got another touchdown.
Yes, we do.
Actually, we take that back. I'm giving the credit to the wrong person there. That is Michael Bolge who brings that one in. Right at the 2-minute mark, left to play in this first half. Mountain View puts another 6 on the scoreboard. We've got a snap, we've got a good kick, and we have got another extra point that is successful here by the sophomore. So the sophomore hasn't missed yet tonight, earning himself a position.
Yeah, he's taking his opportunity, and that's what you like to see.
Yeah.
You know,
great job there. 42-7, 2 minutes left to play in the first half.
You know, and Garrett Mullen has just been able, he's made the right decisions tonight. He's kept the ball on a couple options that have gained big yards, and he's finding the right receivers. And he's putting the ball in places that only his receivers can get up.
Yeah, he sure is.
And, you know, if he is making a mistake, he's making the right mistakes. He's overthrowing the ball. He's not underthrowing the ball.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, it's been a big reason why Mountain View has been able to really just run the table against Evergreen so far.
Yeah. You kind of look back at at this first half, and you know, a couple of penalties here and there, probably some excessive celebration penalties, but other than that, Mountain View's had a pretty flawless first half of play here. On both sides of the ball there. Evergreen only able to get to muster 7 points in this first half of play. Got another catch there. He's going to lower the boom there right at the 20. Looks like they're going to give him the ball right at about the 22-yard line. So Evergreen will take over at the 22, first down and 10. Minute 55 left to play in this first half.
Yeah, we'll see if Evergreen can get something going in the last 2 minutes of this half to go into halftime with something positive.
Yeah. Most definitely. Little quick out Blaze. Nice little catch, makes the first person miss. Then he fumbles the ball. This time it is fumbled out of bounds, so Marks is going to get the credit for the catch and the extra yard or two he got there for the fumble. And that'll bring up second down and 4. Ball spotted on the 28-yard line. Blaze now, ready to go. Drops back, looks for a receiver out in the flats, makes the connection right there. That's going to be Isaiah Griggs on that reception. He'll get down to, it looks like the 38-yard line. First down and 10.
Got Blaze in a 3-step drop. Keeps the ball on. He's just not able. Looks like they are going to call him down. No, okay, so the flag's on the play, so they're going to call intentional grounding there. That's going to back the ball up for the Evergreen Plainsmen with 1:27 left to go in the first half. And this has really been the problem tonight for the Evergreen Plainsmen. It's the mental errors and the mistakes and the penalties that have really killed any forward momentum that they've had.
All bad things for everybody.
So we've got second and long. Blaze takes the snap, airs it out to number 14, Isaiah Griggs, and that's going to be enough for a first down. That's a big play for Evergreen. That's going to stop the clock while they move the chains, and Evergreen's got a little bit of momentum going. And Blaze just overthrows his receivers. That's going to be an incomplete pass. We're going to go to 2nd and 10 with 1:05 left to play.
This year because he doesn't get the ball. Well, he dropped, I guess in the Miami game. Yeah. I guess the one big drop he ran out of bounds anyways over in Medford. They had the guy had the hat off. So it's just remarkable.
So we got Vale Atua in the backfield behind Blaze. Looks like we got the down marker set. Officials saying it's 3rd down. I'm not quite sure there because I have it 2nd down, 2nd and 10. Hand off to Vale Atua. He's able to find a little bit of space. He fumbles the football and Mountain View recovers. And he's on the.
He picked it up at the 41. So that's number 3 gets 9 yards.
Number 14, Mekhi Anderson picks up the fumble, and that kills all momentum for Evergreen going into the half. And we're at 53 seconds to go. Mountain View gets the ball back in Evergreen territory. Yeah, you can see on the replay there, the fumble was just scooped up by Anderson, and yeah, that just it goes to show you the mistakes that Evergreen has had so far tonight is really killing anything that they get going, and it's been to their detriment tonight.
So they're on the 33. If they score, that'll be 393 yards of offense.
So we got Mountain View football, 1st and 10 on the 33 with 53 seconds left to play in the half.
That was a false start. So now they're going to get 5 more yards of offense.
So we've got a new quarterback out there for Mountain View. That's Curry Santiago. Got a false start, and that's going to move him back.
Oh, it's everything.
Now 1st and 15 for Mountain View.
Look at those guys.
Might have been just a little bit of miscommunication there with the new quarterback, and we're going to give it another go.
No, I think this is a brand new, this is the second unit. That 30?
They hand the ball off to number 30, Malachi Battles. Malachi Batty is able to go ahead and pick up 6 yards. It's now 2nd and 9. with 34 seconds and counting on the clock. Santiago under center, hands the ball off to number 22, Xavier Mayo, and he's able to go ahead and get a big gain for a first down. They're going to spot the ball on the 15-yard line. It looks like that moves the chain, stops the clock. And it looks like Mountain View is actually, they're going to run out the clock. That ends the first half. We've got a score: Mountain View 42, Evergreen High School Plainman 7 as we end the first half. And we're going to go ahead and we're going to run down to Matt in the truck for a halftime show. We'll see you soon.
Griffin, joined right here by Rodney Lawrence, up in the front, brought him down from the booth to talk about this first half. Rodney, Mountain View's got this in the bag, obviously.
Yeah.
Evergreen, to me, not playing like a team that's 3-3 on the year, 1-1 in league. What do you think they need to do to get some confidence back?
Well, you're right. I mean, a 500 ball club, you kind of thought that you were going to come out here and be a little more, gassed up, upbeat about this game. I know they are missing a couple of their key players, aren't here today, so they're playing some people that they necessarily wouldn't have played. But, their number one guys are still here. Griffin, Vale Atua. Right now, they're just having a tough time on the offensive line getting any kind of push to open up anything to allow Blaze to even get passes off. The game is just kind of mixed up for them right now, and they just kind of need to settle down, for one, and everybody handle their assignments. There's just a lot of missed assignments all over the field right now, and I think that's what's holding them back.
Well, let's talk now. Obviously, Mountain View, we're starting to talk about the march toward the playoffs. Mountain View is 5-1 on the year, 2-0 in league right now, up against Kelso, 6-0, 2-0 in league. How deep do either of these two teams go into the playoffs?
I think pretty deep. We watched Kelso here last week play against Evergreen, and they put I think they put 50-something on them. 54, I do believe, was the score. They are a solid running football team, and I think that they're going to go pretty deep. Mountain View's ranked in the top 5 in the state right now, and just the way they play ball. I mean, I kind of was looking at some stats. Jack Mertens has well over 800 yards, 9 touchdowns.
Yeah, he's on fire.
The quarterback Moen has thrown for 14 plus and 12 touchdowns himself. So they're set up and they're playing the way that they need to play. That's going to have them playing well deep into the playoffs, I believe.
Okay, so we'll turn you loose for the second half.
Yes.
Take a little break, and we'll be back with Rodney up in the booth and Ryan Vassbender for our second half action in just a little bit. I want to tell you that EPS Sports broadcasts like this one are brought to you by student volunteers from across our school districts. Now, our games are broadcast on Comcast channels 27, 28, 328, 29, as part of a consortium with Battleground Public Schools and Vancouver Public Schools. KPTV recently took the time to interview myself and my counterpart from Vancouver Public Schools about what it takes to bring you these broadcasts and get our students real-life work experience.
Well, the magic of TV really is truly done behind the scenes. It's the people in the back that are the real MVPs. The viewers in Clark County, the real winners of the broadcast crews delivering football, volleyball, soccer, track, hoops, you name it, they've got it. We go tag team with Vancouver Public Schools Game Time and Evergreen Public Schools Sports Broadcasting in tonight's High School Spotlight. This is reality TV. Student-driven, behind the lens and behind the switcher.
Something usually goes wrong right at the very beginning in the studio.
That's TV.
The TV stars beyond the Friday night lights are the man-hours logged after school by the crews for VPS Game Time and Evergreen Sports. We're both ready for prime time.
People always ask, like, why you keep doing this when you could just go home and hang out. To me, this is kind of hanging out because it's that much fun.
VPS and EPS are instructed by former local television news producers Nick Voll and Matt Griffin.
As somebody who's worked in news, you know, I've seen what a good production looks like, what a professional production looks like, and that's what these kids are getting.
We're trying to give them a real-life job experience that they could take into any type of video field, broadcasting field.
The student volunteers are in video production courses during the school day before the broadcast day begins. Comcast Cable Channel 328, as well as their respective live feeds on Facebook and YouTube.
I don't really see it as extra work. It's really fun to me, and getting to do this after a long school day is sometimes hard because I can get pretty tired, but overall, it's pretty engaging.
And not all jobs are created equal.
I actually ran the instant replay machine, which everyone says is the hardest job, which it is.
Both broadcasts deliver the images differently. VPS streams over a fiber network to a control room a few miles away. EPS completely on scene. The production truck at the stadium or gym where the broadcast is originating from.
One of the things that we appreciate is that our school districts actually support this sort of thing, that they don't view it as some sort of, you know, extra thing. It's something that actually benefits our community, from the folks at home watching to the kids on the court or the field and the kids behind the camera. It's something that they value, and we appreciate that.
And the programs have turned out some professionals in the industry, like Timber's Emmy Award-winning director, Patrick Brown.
This gives them opportunity to just create that school spirit, you know, showcase students doing positive things in a way where they can learn real-life job skills.
And of course, I want to thank all of the student volunteers who help make these broadcasts possible. Part of Evergreen Public Schools' commitment to our students is making sure that they have equitable access to technology, from software and devices to the infrastructure to make learning possible. We recently visited Chehalis Middle School, where some 7th graders are using programmable robots called Spheros to learn science, math, and engineering concepts.
It's a day for technology and teamwork for these 7th grade science students at Chehalis Middle School.
So if it's facing this way, how would we need to turn it to go that way?
Students are learning how to program tiny robots called Spheros to navigate through a kind of obstacle course, a series of geometric patterns, all while changing colors and emitting pre-programmed sounds along the way.
It's fun because you get to program it to do whatever you want it to do.
The lesson allows technology to become a tool for learning.
Remember, it's trial and error. So if you don't get it the first time, you just go back and you adjust. It's called refactoring.
The kids right now, they're learning scientific inquiry skills. They're learning about variables. They're learning how to problem solve. They're learning engineering skills. They can put these basic things, like later on in life they're going to say, okay, well, I remember back when I was doing the Spherobot lab that I had to break these steps apart. I had to chunk it apart. I had to identify where the problem was before I could make a solution to that problem. So they're able to start off with those just very basic skills of being able to identify what exactly is going wrong and how they can fix that.
Students tackle problems through trial and error.
It wasn't going fast enough, or wasn't the right angle to hit the sticky note, so sometimes it would go where it wasn't supposed to go, so we just changed the speed and angle by a little bit, and then we got it to hit the sticky note.
And then we had it roll for 135 degrees at 135 degrees so it can turn right. And the speed was at 60 for 2 seconds so it can be somewhat in a circle.
And it's not just learning geometry and physics concepts along with computer coding skills. Students are using one-to-one learning devices to share their work by uploading videos of their Spheros in action to a PowerPoint presentation, and then sharing their work with their teacher using Google Classroom. Some students even use a simple graphics program to map out some of the things they want their Sphero to do.
Kind of draw on it, and you could draw what shape you want to do, or draw what colors what we want it to be at every single turn.
And with this hands-on use of technology, Students have those aha moments that can come from working collaboratively as a team.
And they're also learning skills like teamwork, life skills like that, how to work together, how to bounce ideas off of one another. And that's what we do in the science community and the engineering community.
All right, start it.
Whether it's volunteering to read to elementary school students, or preparing food for our summer meals program, or being a lunch buddy, or making sure our concerts and sporting events are safe for students and visitors, or volunteering to teach art discovery classes, there are countless volunteer opportunities in Evergreen Public Schools.
I think most people value our kids as being our future, and so we need to help keep those kids going.
And signing up to be a volunteer is easy. Just go to our website, evergreenps.org/community partnerships. Click on the link to download a volunteer application, fill out just a few forms, and submit them. Once you've cleared the simple background check, you'll be ready to make a difference. This art discovery volunteer sums it up with a quote from a famous Dr. Seuss book.
It makes you feel good to volunteer. It's fun to help the kids. It's fun to get to know the kids. I think kind of like the one slur in the Lorax said, unless someone like you helps a whole awful lot, nothing's going to get better. It's not. So you need to help in order for things to get better. And I think that volunteering is definitely one way that you can help.
Make a difference. Become an Evergreen Public Schools volunteer.
Here's you. Here's your future. You can be anything you want. The possibilities are endless. But it's scary. What do you want to do? Do you know? Check out Cascadia Tech Academy. With 16 programs, it's a great way to explore careers and get hands-on learning. If you think Cascadia Tech is not right for you, let's bust some myths. Myth number 1. Cascadia Tech won't really help me land a great career. That couldn't be more false. We've got 16 programs that can lead to good-paying jobs that your friends who just attend high school won't be qualified to get.
You get to learn stuff that you can immediately take out and go into real life and do. We're worth our weight in gold in this program.
Myth number 2. Cascadia Tech is not for college-bound students. But it is. We've got honor students, students going to 2- or 4-year colleges, and students planning on entering a trade after high school, so everyone.
I love all the programs here are so great. You talk to people from different programs and they say the same thing, like they just love it and the community that's here and all the skills that you learn.
The fact is, Cascadia Tech gives you both academic and technical training to prepare you for life after high school, no matter where that takes you.
1, 2.
Myth number 3. Cascadia Tech is weak in academic content. Again, false. Here's the deal. Cascadia Tech takes a deeper dive into careers that are very much in demand. You're going to come out of high school with an advantage over everyone else because you learn real skills for the real world. Those algebra skills you're learning right now at Cascadia Tech, you'll actually use them to build and design. Myth number 4. Cascadia Tech takes away from my high school experience. In fact, you'll spend half your day at Cascadia Tech and the other half at your high school. You get to hang out with your friends, still get to participate in sports, music, and clubs. That doesn't mean you're not going to meet a lot of new friends right here at Cascadia Tech. The students here share a passion for learning.
I get to just be surrounded by people who love the same thing I do, and it really motivates me to keep following my passion.
So we just busted a bunch of myths. Here are the real facts. Cascadia Tech is your avenue for careers that are in demand. You get to explore career options for free. You're going to learn teamwork, problem solving, and interpersonal skills. It's just what employers are looking for. So, think about your future. You want to graduate ready for a lucrative career? Cascadia Tech is a great first step towards college, trade school, or even your first job.
I would definitely recommend to anyone who would like to truly follow their passion and follow their dream.
Cascadia Tech is amazing. I'm always recommending it to students.
And then from this angle, it all makes a star.
I'm a teacher. Let me tell you what I make. I make learning a privilege, not a chore.
Show up
And frustration, a tool, not an obstacle. I make working hard seem easy. And giving up, impossible.
And then we're going to turn on the lights and everybody look up.
I make an old subject feel like a fresh thought.
What's your reaction? Yeah, exactly.
And unconventional methods,
Okay, what else?
common.
This is their world.
Nothing. Go ahead, go.
I'm a teacher. I make more.
Good morning. Hope you all had a good weekend and are ready to be inspired. One quick thing I want to remind you guys to be studying.
Major key alert. Did you just look at your phone while you was in class? You played yourself.
Today we're talking about inspirational quotes.
You want to get that paper? You better turn in that paper and get an A+. That's a major key. Another one. Mogul talk. You want to reach the mountaintop? You got to go hard. To succeed, you have to believe. Stay focused. Fly higher than the eagle. Don't ever play yourself. The key is to make it, so make it.
Louise, can you give me an example of an inspirational quote from recent history?
Don't play yourself. The key is to make it.
And who said that?
I did. Now that's a major key alert.
Learn the real major keys to getting to college at getschool.com.
And we want to thank you for tuning in tonight, and a reminder that we will be back live for a second half of our doubleheader, Union versus Heritage, at 7:30. Right now, let's get ready for second half action, Mountain View Thunder versus the Evergreen Plainsmen.
Second half of the Evergreen Plainsmen versus the Mountain View Thunder. Mountain View Thunder on top 42-7. I'm Ryan Vassbinder, and we've got my buddy Rodney Lawrence on the call tonight. We're here on a Thursday night for high school football.
Yes, we are. Well, it looks like we got the mandatory 2-minute warm-up going on here. So as soon as the clock runs down, then they automatically put 2 minutes back on to allow the teams to warm up. So that's kind of where we are right now. So let's kind of talk about the first half in this 2-minute period, Ryan. I kind of alluded to some of it on the halftime show that they just need to take their time, shore up some stuff, and just come out here and play real consistent football.
Yeah, they really do. I mean, the mistakes that Evergreen made in that first half really killed any momentum that they were ever were able to generate.
Yeah.
And, I mean, even that last drive, they were moving the ball down the field with little time left, and they ended up turning the football over on a fumble.
Yeah.
And it's those type of things really, I mean, the game was lopsided anyway at that point.
Mm-hmm.
But when those types of things happen, those mental errors happen, it really just stops anything you have going, and it's tough to come back from.
Yeah, it sure is. It sure is. Mountain View, at this point, you kind of talk about what might have been discussed at halftime. As far as Mountain View, I'm sure Coach Matheson is just trying to make sure that everything stays crisp and clean. Don't lose your heads. Don't get too chippy out there, and start going back at the Evergreen players. We kind of saw a glimpse of that at the beginning of that first half. I'm sure that was addressed in the locker room, that we're not going to have any of that. We're going to come out here and beat them fair and square, beat them clean, and not rub it in their face. So, we're a touchdown away from the mercy rule here. We'll see how Adam decides he wants to play this. If he's going to start giving some other guys a lot more time, or is he going to get to that position before he decides that he's going to take his foot off the gas. So we'll just have to wait and see.
Yeah, we will, because, that last possession Mountain View had before the half, they did put it out there. It looks like their second unit. So we'll see what Matheson decides to do coming out here as they receive the ball to start the second half.
They're going to score on the first drive, and then
So we're getting ready to go ahead and kick off the second half. Evergreen's going to kick the ball off to Mountain View.
All right, well, here we go. Del Angel, the kicker for Evergreen, getting his last bit of instruction there from the official before he hands the ball to him. Two deep men for Mountain View. They're going to be Earnhardt and looks like that's Jack Mertens. Both of them standing inside the 10. Evergreen wearing their all pink today for cancer awareness. That ball's going to get picked up on the run there by Earnhardt, who's going to make it to the 35 before he is tackled out of bounds. So the Evergreen defense is going to have to try to find some way to stop these guys right now. At this point, it does look like that Adam is still have his starters on the field. We see Anderson here lined up on the numbers. They're going to hand this off to Mertel, who gives another big run, something we're very familiar with when watching this young man run, and he's going to get, it looks like about 22-plus yards out of that carry. Going to carry him into the Evergreen's side of the football field. First down and 10 from the 38. And there's not a whole lot more you can say about that young man. And, you know, when he gets the ball in his hand, you just want to just sit there and watch him, see what he's going to do, you know. Trip formation down here at the bottom. They're going to hand this one off once again. Going to go back towards the middle of the field looking for open. This time he is not going to be able to get away. He's going to get shirt tackled there by Griffin. Ultimately, he got about 2 yards out of that play. Looks like they're going to have him down at the 40-yard line. So, 2nd and 8.
Looks like we got a flag on the play.
Okay, and that's a holding penalty, and it's going to be against Mountain View, so that'll back him up 10.
You know, just what you were talking about, when they give Mertens the ball, you know, it's so fun to watch him because he'll find a hole. You know, it doesn't matter how small it is, he finds it, and he's able to get positive yards out of almost any situation.
He sure is. So they're trying to figure out exactly where they're going to mark the penalty from. Looks like they're going to back him up 10 yards from the 40.
A couple of years ago, there was like a 40-yard flag throw, and he landed right where the penalty happened. It was like,
so the officials now walking off the penalty. And that will bring up a 2nd and 18 situation. Mertens drops back for the pass. Looking downfield, decides he's just going to go ahead and keep this one himself. He's going to get about a yard out of it before he's wrapped up by the Evergreen tacklers there. And it looks like we may have one Evergreen player getting up a little slow. Or actually hasn't gotten up yet. Trying to see what's going on here. Kind of got wrapped up and twisted up in that tackle, so we'll kind of see what they're going to be working on. He may have just got the wind knocked out of him.
Looks like that's number 8, Trent Heeman. Hopefully he'll be all right. Evergreen did a good job really closing down that pocket.
Yeah, they did.
On that play, though.
And Heeman's going to walk off on his own, so that's always a good thing. Looks like he just possibly got the wind knocked out of him when he came in on the cleanup on that tackle there. David Grant, the initial tackler there, and Heeman just kind of came in there and cleaned up the pile. 2nd and 16. Owen has a guy out in the flat. That's going to be Irwin again. Earnhardt, I should say. Earnhardt, another big run after the catch. Tell you what, these guys' ability to do something special and extra after contact is what's going to make the difference. And we kind of talked about, these guys going into the playoffs, and that seeing that type of running this time of year is definitely. We make small things very big. You're talking about getting the ball to your athletes out in open space and just let them do them, and we're kind of seeing that happen right now with these guys. As Mertens gets it, he gets through the first tackle. He finds his way to the open field. He's going to run all the way for the touchdown. And with that being said, 35-yard run there for Jack Mertens for the Mountain View touchdown. First time, first possession, third quarter. Mountain View's on the scoreboard again.
Yeah, and that's exactly what Mountain View wanted to do as they came out of the second half. And Mountain View is now taking a look at they have to start looking at the postseason.
Yeah.
How do they peak at the right time? And some of the things that we're seeing here tonight are starting to lead up to that. Like you said, the yards after contact and really able to make positive yardage out of plays that are nothing.
Yeah.
Are really starting to turn this ball club into that direction.
Sure is. This will be his first miss tonight as the scoreboard holds at 48-7. Mountain View over Evergreen. That does put them over the 40 points there rule, and for the remainder of the time, or until until Evergreen scores again, we will be under the running clock. Here's a nice little instant replay. Mertens sidesteps that nice one, and you just kind of pick up the blocking. I think that's one of the most important things is also with it's an Adam Matheson coach type team. They make blocks down the field. They continue to make blocks to allow their running backs or receivers to be able to continue to make moves down the field and find open spaces to run into based on and set up off blocks. So that's what makes the difference is all that extra activity that happens down the field. We're giving Mertens and Earnhardt a bunch of credit for their ability to run, but I tell you what, if it wasn't for that downfield blocking that you always seem to see, especially when when they slow it down and you see it in the instant replays, there it is right there. That's what allows this guy to do as well as he does. That's what allows you to believe that this team can go deep because those types of things happen on the football field. It's not one man doing it all. The whole team has contributed to that touchdown.
Right, and it really comes down to Mountain View. That shows that they're a very well coached team, right?
Yeah,
they understand their roles and their assignments. And everybody's okay with playing their role.
They sure are. Griggs brought down by about half the kickoff team there for Mountain View, and they're going to give him the ball. Looks like they'll stop his momentum at about the 37-yard line. So first down and 10 for Evergreen. Blaze brings Evergreen up to the line of scrimmage for the first time this third quarter. He's out there to pass. Griffin gets the ball out there on the flat. Griffin does find the edge and is able to get across the 45-yard line. Looks like they're going to probably put him down about the 47.
So he's just shy of the first down.
Looks like it. We'll see if the official's still trying to eyeball this one. It's kind of close. We're talking about second and inches here. It looks like they are going to measure this one. It is super close. They're not going to just eyeball this one.
Yeah, no, they're not moving. They moved the ball back.
Oh, they actually moved the ball back. There we go. I was like, well, that was kind of an interesting thing there. Nobody wanted to look at it. Then they just moved the ball back, made it simple for everybody. Evergreen comes out.
One way to do it.
Right, pistol formation. Blaze drops back, has a guy in the route, interception. Bringing the ball back across midfield. Oh, the turf monster got him. And I was going to say that was a tight hole that Blaze was trying to get that ball into. And, I mean, right between two defenders right there on his receiver and a guy in the back. And it was just essentially the tip drill that created the interception there for Jordan Cook to run that ball back across into Evergreen territory for Mountain View to take the ball over on some very good field position once again.
Yeah, and that's been something that Ryan Blaze has really been working on all season so far. He's able to throw the ball a mile, but he doesn't quite have the vision to see the whole field, and he gets locked onto his primary target a lot of times, and it turns into mistakes.
Shovel pass here to Earnhardt. Earnhardt breaks through the initial tackle and is going to make it down to the 30-yard line. So a nice little shovel pass play, gets in behind his blockers and makes the first cut based off that first block thrown. Move the chain, first down and 10. All right, this time, empty backfield. Actually, Earnhardt sits there in the wing formation. Owen drops back. Instant blitz there, and he is going to get slung to the carpet by the big defensive lineman for Evergreen. And I do believe that is number 72. Yes, it is, and that is David Grant, Jr., who just came through the line virtually untouched. Must have been an assignment breakdown there. And here we come. And that is just the case. Both linemen stepped out. He came right up the A-gap and caught him by his jersey and just slung him to the ground. So big loss there for the Mountain View Thunder. Great defensive play by Grant. And once again, nowhere to go. Evergreen's defense stiffening up definitely on this series, seeing some things that we didn't see in the first half at all. Credit the linebacker there, number 34, to come up there and make that stop. Unfortunately, we don't have that young man's name on the roster. There is no 34 on our roster, so he'll just have to be number 34. Great job, though, to come in there and make that stop for an even bigger loss. We're looking at third down and 28 yards to go. Going to hand this ball off again. This time he's going to find some open yardage. And he is going to make it down to, it looks like about the 42 before he stopped. That'll bring up a fourth down situation. Alec Can, the running back on that play, number 3. Anderson and Bowles down here at the bottom of your screen, the two receivers. Mullen drops back. He's going to get that ball off. It's going to be picked off on the tip drill, and an interception there. Trent Heeman actually brings that ball in. Another tip drill on the other side. So 3 plays later, Mountain View turns the ball over to Evergreen, and Evergreen gets it back. But it's the first time we saw the Evergreen defense play that stingy. That was a series for the film room. There's definitely something that can be said about that series there.
It really was, and that's the first real bright spot that Evergreen's had tonight defensively. They were able to really shut down anything that Mountain View threw at them, and the reward with getting the ball back.
Yeah, they sure were. So Heeman comes in as the up back, kind of help on the blocking that doesn't help out at all. Andrew Gulliford in there right now to make that stop, him along with Rodolfo Montel, to create a great big loss there for the Plainsmen. Going to push them back to the 31-yard line, second down. Evergreen's going to need to get to the 46-yard line for the first down. Clock continuing to run, 3:14 left to play in this third quarter. Blaze drops back, gets that one away right as he's hit, and that's going to be intercepted as well. We'll see if the referee says he brought it down, and he did. So Earnhardt there having a big night both offensively and defensively, and they're just turning this ball over back and forth to each other right now in between the 40-yard lines. Great play there by the defender as he goes up and catches that ball as his highest point. Blaze couldn't really step into that one because he was hit right as he let that one go. So it fell a little short, and that ball was able to get picked off.
And Blaze got hit hard.
Yeah, he sure did.
He'll feel that one tomorrow.
Yeah. Great efforts there by Earnhardt to have the awareness to know where his feet were and get them down before he got out of bounds. Decides to take it underneath. This time we have a new quarterback in the game and a new running back, and we've got a big running back in the game. They're going to give the ball right up the middle. And that is Malachi Batties, who takes that ball for 10 yards and some. He's going to get him right there at midfield, first down.
I think they just realized it was 12 yards. I think they just realized,
Going to hand this ball all off again, this time looking for the edge. Evergreen able to come up there and stop him right as he gets up there to the line of scrimmage. He'll get a couple of yards out of that one. 2nd and 8.
Yeah, so it looks like Matheson has decided to give some of his, his second unit some time out on the field, which is always a good thing in these situations.
Yeah,
You want to get your second unit some playing time and some game time experience, because you never know what's going to happen.
Yep, you sure don't. That was Xavier Mayo who carried the ball on that one. He's now coming out of the game, and Alec Can checks in for him.
17 is the passer to 87.
We got the big catch out there by a big tight end, number 87. That's going to be Dominic Stevens who brings that one down.
They were on the 48, and now they're on the 32.
New quarterback in the game is Santiago. He's a junior. His first pass of the game, first completion for the first down. And here's a nice little replay. Just kind of lobs that one out there and lets the big man go get that. Another handoff here. This time he is not going to have anywhere to go on that play that kind of took a little while for that one to develop, and Evergreen just kind of stayed home and came up Heeman and Smith there to make the tackle.
That's going to bring up the end of the third quarter.
So, with that being said, Mountain View's still on top of this one, 48-7 over the Evergreen Plainsmen. This is the EPS Sports. We're at McKenzie Stadium on a Thursday night. We want to thank you guys. Ryan Vassbinder, Rodney Lawrence. We'll be right back for the fourth quarter. All right, we are back here to start of the fourth quarter. Mountain View on top, 48-7. Looking for a receiver down the field, and they're there to make another one to the big man who blows through the first tackle before he is wrestled out of bounds down inside the 5-yard line. Dominic Stevens once again on that catch. That's his second reception of this second half here, and 2 big catches and a real big hard run on that last one.
Yeah, you get some of these second stringers out here, and they're still fighting for spots.
Yeah, they sure are.
And it doesn't matter what the score is; they're going to continue to play their hearts out and run as hard as they can.
6 foot 180, big man. Looks like they were trying to get this ball here on the outside. The running back on that one is Alec Can. They're going to take a loss on that play. Looks like back to about the 11-yard line, so second and goal from the 11. Santiago now the quarterback. Looks like Mullins probably finished for the evening. And possibly even Jack Mertel. Looks like they've got an entirely different crew in the backfield. They're going to hand this one off again. Alec Can now makes a good run, looks for the edge, now trying to get to the sidelines. And he is going to get run out of bounds right there at about the 3. Tackler Ryan Preston saves the touchdown there. He looks like he might be a little gimpy on that one. Going to walk that off, as they say, in football language. Are you injured or are you hurt? All right, so Santiago under center. He's going to hand this off to Can again. Can is going to get a little closer. Looks like they're going to give him all the way to about the 1-inch line. That's going to bring up 4th down. Juan Jimenez, number 88, signed up there as the wing. And this time we've got penalty flags here. Looks like we probably had a little movement there from the Thunder. That is the case, so that'll back them up 5. Just now outside of the 5-yard line. Still 4th down.
I'm just going to call it the 6 just for the hell of it. Just to be nice.
This time they're going to give it to the big man who's going to go in virtually untouched for the touchdown. Malachi Batiste.
So Mountain View is able to go down and put another 6 on the board.
Yes.
And it just shows you how, the depth of this ball club and the fact that they were able to really just step in and they didn't really miss a beat.
Yeah, they sure didn't. And, we were talking to Adam a little earlier before the game, and he's talked about how senior heavy he is as far as his starters are concerned. It looks like he'll be senior heavy again next year when you see as many juniors, that you see step in and do little things throughout the game, which kind of leads you to believe that they're not going to miss much of a step, even though, there's not going to be a bunch of returners. When you go through a season like this and put up this many points, and here's the replay, we'll get back to it here in a minute. Great, nobody touches him until he's across the thing. But when you allow your underclassmen to get this much playing time throughout the season on Friday night, and more often than not, they are still playing against your opponent's starters.
Right.
And it just gives them that opportunity to get the feel of Friday night and just kind of see what it's like. And by the time they're seniors, they've been out on the field enough times on Friday that it's not that big of a deal, and they just kind of settle into what's going on.
Yeah, and that experience, it's a lot. It plays so much into the mental game and the mental side of the football, game that when next year rolls around, they're going to be a step ahead of some of these other teams still.
Yeah, they are. They are. So Mountain View on top, 55 now to 7. Evergreen now just looking for some positive things. They need to keep their heads up. I mean, obviously this is a game that's got out of hand for them, but they still have to play with pride. Still come out here and play hard football, and don't let this team put 60, 70 on them. That's not what it's about. Come out here, play hard, hit hard, and still try to execute everywhere whenever you can. And with that being said, Griffin has this great run that gets him up the field across the 30 down to about the 32-yard line.
Yeah, and you're exactly right, Rodney. I mean, when you're a team and you're down by this much, you have to start looking about, okay, what are the little things that we can do that we can take away as wins going into the film room tomorrow or on Saturday in this case. And their last defensive stand, that was something positive.
Yeah,
and what can the offense do to move the football down the field and to create some positivity going into the following week.
No, you are correct. Mountain View comes out familiar pistol, 2 slots. Gets it out there to their athlete who's going to get up the sideline. He's going to get a nice run. See where they're going to have him going out of bounds, and it looks like they have him going out at about the 46-yard line, which will be enough to move the chains. So nice play, nicely executed. Griffin out there on the end makes the first tackler miss. And when you're a receiver on that particular type of route, your role is to make the first person miss. And we'll kind of get another look at it right here. Nice little quick out there to the outside. It looks like number 30 didn't put a whole lot of effort into trying to get him out of bounds. He's got a man open now. He's thrown the ball far enough, unable to make the completion. There is Griffin. That right there is the perfect type of pass. That pass right there, for the how much yards he had gotten up the field and the way that Blaze throws, those are the type of passes that makes him look like a superstar. It was thrown just far enough where you don't have to worry about him throwing the ball. He had enough hump on it. The ball was actually dropping out of the sky instead of this rocket that you pretty much had to snatch out of the air. That hit Griffin's hands. You got to bring those in.
Yeah,
you got to bring those in. Okay, Valeatua is lone running back. We have 3 receivers here at the bottom. They're going to give it to Valeatua up the middle. He finds opening in the middle of the field. Spins out of that second tackle. He's going to get across the 40-yard line.
And that's a name we haven't called too much tonight.
No.
That's one of their guys.
Yeah,
and he's had some big nights earlier this season, and he can definitely go ahead, and you can see just the explosiveness that he has in this replay.
Yeah,
to able to get upfield and then get his eyes upfield to see what's in front of him.
And something we saw in that big replay on that big run was downfield blocking.
Yeah,
and that is definitely the key. Well, Evergreen penalty here. Looks like everybody was moving except the center on this one. So that'll back them up 5, and this will be 1st and 15, which, that's always difficult trying to, it's always a difficult play call, 1st and 15. It kind of kills your ability. You got to kind of look at different type plays and different type situations because you want this play to net at least 5, or 6 or 7 to look at a 2nd and 8 or, or 2nd and 7. And, and that's what's going on there. Mountain View is going to call the timeout. Coach Matheson wanting to talk to his guys out there about what's going on. And that just lets you know, no matter what the score is, Coach Matheson is always going to be coaching to make his boys better. Because if you kind of look down there on the field, you're kind of looking at the younger team that's going to be his squad next year. So, he's not going to lose any opportunities to kind of help these guys get better along the way, knowing the roles that they'll all be playing, possibly some of them throughout this season, and most definitely next year.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And, you know, I think part of that conversation that Matheson is having is hey, we gave up a few big plays, right?
Mhm.
You know, especially, and the potential for a really big play, the ball that Griffin dropped, you know, it's the conversation is, hey, just settle down a little bit.
Yeah.
You know, keep your assignments and we'll be okay.
Yeah, most definitely. Most definitely. Well, you can see in the background the Heritage Timberwolves coming into the stadium. That will be the next game tonight of our doubleheader here on Thursday night. Blaze drops back, looks up the field, lets this one go. Has a receiver out front, and Griffin goes up and brings that one down right there in the middle of the football field. And that was a great pattern. Great catch. You see another 40, 45-yard pass. That's what makes Blaze look good.
Right.
Those are the ones that make him look good because the ball is coming down, and he threw that only where Griffin was going to be able to get it. Griffin had to climb the ladder and catch that ball at his highest point, and he was able to do that. And that'll bring up first and goal from the 5-yard line. Going to hand this one off to Vale Atua. He finds an opening. He's going to step in, and he is going to get into the end zone for the touchdown. Tackler on that play. Oh, is number 10, John Earnhardt.
You know, so Evergreen is able to go down and do exactly what we talked about. You know, they were able to go ahead and move the ball down the field.
Yeah, they sure were.
And get some points on the board. It's
They
a little
sure
too
were.
little too late.
But like we said, that's a good drive to put in the can. That's a
Right.
good, you know, that's something to talk about. That's something to work with. So with 4:27 left to play in this game, Mountain View able to cut into that 40-point lead. The kick is up, and that is going to be good. So Mountain View 55, Evergreen now 14 points. They have brought it down points, so generally that means that we're going to play normal football for the fourth quarter. We'll see if the referees are going to follow that or
we're at 41.
Oh, yes, you're correct. I forgot about the other touchdown. My math is horrible. Thank you very much. Yes, you are correct. So the clock will continue to run, and just forget about what I said. Thanks, Ryan, for calling me on TV.
Yeah, I'm just trying to keep us all honest here.
I appreciate that. Oh, my goodness. So Mountain View on the field here. Looks like the two deep guys are Mertens and Earnhardt. Kicker is Del Angel, number 21. For the Plainsmen.
Anyway, who knows how long Mac would have held out, but his agent told the Raiders he would hold out until week 10, because after week 10 you have to report to get credit for the year. So, and he was in his final year of that rookie contract.
Our next game tonight is going to be Union Titans, number 1 rated team in the state of Washington right now. We're going to come here to play the Heritage Timberwolves. This is a league game. Both these guys 4As down here in the greater St. Helens area.
Just for a season and then trade him, but they were going to give him that contract because they still got a quarterback under the rookie contract.
And Evergreen's going to kick this ball out of bounds, so Mountain View will take the ball over on their 35-yard line.
So unprecedented what they did. Yeah. So the Raiders, first team under the new CBA to strike it big with a franchise player on offense and defense in the same draft. And then because
All right, well, it looks like Santiago is going to take over the responsibilities here once again for the remainder of the game as the quarterback. Batiste, if I'm pronouncing that correctly, is lined up as the fullback.
We'll play him we'll have a home game with him. Don't know where that home is going to be, but
And he's going to take this ball again. And they're going to ride this young man down to about the 43-yard line. And that's going to bring up second down and 2. And we'll see how much of the clock the Mountain View Thunder used to run and execute each play. Field clock now down to 12 seconds. They seem to take it to about 5 before they call the play. Baptiste is going to fight his way down to the 46-yard line for the first down.
Yeah, that's just another thing that Mountain View can work on. Late in the game, up by a lot, is your clock management skills.
Yeah,
You know, and you never know when you're going to have a situation where you need to run the clock out. And to be able to say that you've done it before just brings a lot of experience, especially to the younger guys that are out on the field right now.
Yeah, most definitely. Most definitely. Santiago goes under center. He's going to hand it to the big man once again. This time, Evergreen is not going to give him much. He's going to get about a yard out of this one.
it's not like there's going to be a big crowd. Yeah, but there won't be a big crowd on the field, is what I'm saying. So that's nice.
The second game, it looks like Union set up to be the visiting team. Tonight, Heritage is the home team tonight. Going to hand this one off to Can. Can makes a nice run right up the middle. He's going to get him into Evergreen territory down to about the 42-yard line. Alrighty, so we have officially hit the 2-minute warning. Here's the replay. You see blocking up the field. That allows him to get to level 2 into the secondary before he's brought down. And now they are going to go ahead and take this and be done with it as the clock runs out. It looks like they might have to do that one more time. See when the officials are going to wind the clock, and he officially starts the play. There's the field clock now counting 25. We'll see how far they let it go down before they take the snap.
Oh, that's right. Oh, they're doing victory formation. So it's 2.
Minute left to play, 12 seconds on the field clock, so they will have to do at least one more play, it looks like.
Thunder already put the final score up.
Well, if they do it, so will I.
Yeah. It's like, they don't normally do that, but now I know why.
And based on the officials running the clock, it looks like we'll see here. Maybe, maybe not. They might have to do it one more time. And it looks like there's about a 3-second difference between the field clock and the scoreboard clock. So maybe one more time. Drag this out. Nice shot of the stadium. The Evergreen band played loud and proud today for their team.
I do have to say, if you weren't out here tonight, you were missing a rare second week of October sunset.
Yeah.
It's not very often we get this weather during the second week of October.
No, not at all, not at all. And that will end the game here with the Mountain View Thunder over the Evergreen Plainsmen, 55-14. Wow. I mean, we expected, the winner, just looking at, W's and L's, there's nobody's, this is what you kind of thought was going to happen. The score, kind of thought you knew Mountain View was definitely capable of doing something like this, but you kind of thought maybe Evergreen would would kind of show up tonight. Like, they're a 500 ball club, so anybody could have showed up.
Right.
When you think about it that way, and the squad, like I said in the halftime show, they are missing a few pieces tonight. It showed, and Mountain View came out here and Mountain View is pretty much essentially done all year and just played a solid football game and put a lot of points on the board. And if you're going to beat them, you got to put a lot of points on the board as well. And if you can't do that, you're not going to beat this club. It's just that simple.
Right, and I feel like at certain points in time tonight, we saw two different ball clubs from Evergreen.
Yeah.
We saw a club that Mountain View was able to just absolutely run over, but then in certain spurts, there was times where Evergreen's defense showed up great.
Yeah.
And their offense, there was a couple times they were able to move the ball down the field. So, consistency is going to be a big thing for this Evergreen ball club going forward. Really minimizing mistakes and mental errors. And how do they really consistently get their best foot forward for the full 48 minutes?
Yeah, exactly. And that's something that they're going to have to definitely work on. And with that being said, we're going to go ahead and wrap this up. We want to thank you guys. Hey, we do have a doubleheader game here tonight, so come back with us. Around 7:30 is the kickoff time. We've got the Union Titans and the Heritage Timberwolves, game 2 this evening. We'll see you then. Ryan Vassbinder, Rodney Lawrence, and we'll talk to you guys in a bit. God bless.